Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Saturday, January 24, 2009, and today we're reading in Leviticus, the actual last chapter in this Leviticus chapter 27. And as I was reading this chapter, I read it a couple times, and then I read a couple other translations as well, and that's actually the first time I want to bring up with Lessons for Life was about, taking advantage of using these other translations that are available. Really just to help you to get a clearer understanding of what the scriptures are actually saying, because I know for myself personally, the scriptures are, their language back then is a lot different than the language I'm reading it right now. So a lot of things I might not fully understand, but then by reading the other translations can help you to get a clear understanding, and then you can go back and you see what different words meant and things of that nature. So you still, use these other translations, then go back to, you might be using the King James, or go back to that version, and then it'll help you to understand what the different words meant, which is, of course, like I said, for myself, is different than how I would speak today. So that's one thing I did with this chapter, and that's one thing I want to mention. Really, sometimes you want to use these other translations, and I encourage you to just help you to get a clearer understanding of what the scriptures are saying. And secondly, as I was reading this chapter, what I really got from it is just how seriously the Lord takes what is His, and that separation between what is yours and what is the Lord's. And when you actually dedicate something or give something to the Lord, and then it's really His. And even with the tithes that it's talking about towards the end of this chapter, the first tenth, that first fruit, is really belongs to the Lord. And if you mess with that part, then there's you have to pay then another fifth part, which if you figure out mathematically, the calculation is another 20% on top of your 10%. So, there's a punishment, or there's a penalty or consequences for messing with what's the Lord. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up with, how seriously the Lord takes what is His. And even it says, even at the beginning, it's talking about like when you have something that's dedicated to the Lord, something that's given over to the Lord. And I believe, the Lord takes a lot more seriously than, we as men do, because I've seen a lot of times in church, people get their babies dressed up and they'll go to church on the first Sunday, whatever Sunday they're doing dedication, and they'll dedicate the child to the Lord. But I don't believe they take it seriously as the Lord takes it. Even with dedicate, because when you're dedicating that child, because you're saying that the Lord bless you with this child, now you're giving this child back to the Lord, and really saying whatever your will, Lord, be done with this child's life. And the Lord takes that seriously, and as I see in this at the beginning portion of this chapter, and that's really what I wanted to bring up with Lessons for Life, just really taking what is the Lord seriously. And when we're saying we're dedicating something to the Lord, when we're giving something to the Lord, just taking it seriously, because there is going to be a penalty for us not doing that, for us, taking back what belongs to the Lord, and whether it's tithes, whether it's dedicating the child or anything. So with that is where today's Lessons for Life about using these other translations, using taking advantage of these different translations that we have at this time to help us to see what the scriptures are meaning. And then also taking seriously what we have given to the Lord, what belongs to the Lord, and that's it. So with that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we will talk again tomorrow.